Hey everyone, we're going to take a look at exercise 23, which is again about putting as many factors as possible outside the brackets, but this time we have to combine our knowledge with the difference of two squares. Right, and I'm going to show you maybe a few exercises how you can do this like this, and I'm going to use the same step plan every time. So first of all, copy the exercise, x to the power of 3 minus 16x, like this. Hey, if you have something like this, my personal preference is to first write down any common factors outside of the brackets. So here, are there any common factors between the first or the two terms here? You have x to the power of 3 and 16x. If you practice this enough, you now see that they have an x in common. So I could write it down like this. Let's write down here. x squared minus 16. But now I'm not done yet, because inside of my brackets I'm left with the difference of two squares. Which squares? Well, I can write x squared as x times x, right? And I can write 16 as 4 times 4, or you could say 4 squared. And x times x is x squared, but yeah, I already know that, that's right here. So this is the difference of two squares. How do I continue? I copy the one in front of the brackets, open my brackets again, and the difference of two squares was of this form. A plus b, a minus b. With a and b being two different numbers or letters. So one is going to be x plus 4, and the other one is going to be x minus 4. Again, the book, for example, says x minus 4, x plus 4. That's exactly the same. Remember, multiplication is commutative. I can switch the terms, or the factors, around. 2 times 3 times 4 is the same as 2 times 4 times 3. So I can also say x plus 4, x minus 4, or I say x minus 4, x plus 4. As long as one of them is positive 4 and the other one is negative 4. Okay, let's take a look at the next one. X to the power of 3 minus 64x squared. First, get the stuff outside of the brackets, the factors which they have in common. The common factors in this case are x squared. So I'm left with x here, and I'm left with minus 64 there. And this one is different, because now I am done like this, right? Why am I done in this case? Well, if I want to rewrite this like the difference of two squares, this is not a square anymore, right? So you cannot say x is x times something. You can do this for 64, but not here. So here you are done like this. Okay? So let's take a look at C. X to the power of 3 minus 64x. Get outside of the brackets what they have in common. And here I'm not done. Take a good look at the small difference. Now I have x squared minus 64. Here x squared is a square, of x. X times x is x squared. And 64, the square of 8 is 64. So here I write down x plus 8 and x minus 8. Or the other way around, as I already mentioned. Okay? Should I do them all? Let's at least take a look at D. Maybe I will do them all. But first D. X to the power of 4 minus 16x squared. You know my steps. First get outside of the brackets that which is in common. So here I would write x squared outside of the brackets. I'm left with x squared minus 16. Well, if I have this in this case, you can now say, oh, okay, this is still a square, this is still a square. So you can rewrite this as x squared, x what's the square of 16? You could say 4, right? And x minus 4. So I always do it in 2 steps, as you can see. I first get the common factors outside the brackets, and then I take a look, do I have a difference of 2 squares left inside of my brackets? Let's do e x to the power 4 plus 16x squared. Be careful here. I start the same way, but now I'm left with x squared plus 16. Remember the name of theory C? It's called the difference, or they're talking about the difference of 2 squares. Dit is not a difference, dit is geen verschil. Er moet hier een minnetje staan. Because there's not a minus here, I'm already done. Because I cannot use the difference of 2 squares here to find x plus 4 and x minus 4. Try what you want, you will not find it. And then I'm left with f. Now let's do f in that case as well. X to the power 4 plus 16x to the power 3. Remember, you use the same steps. In this case, what can I get outside of my brackets? The common factors in this case is x to the power 3. I'm left with x, and I'm left with 16. And here I'm done already, because 16, well, I'm done for two different reasons. First of all, I cannot make x something squared, and second of all, it's not even a difference, because I have a plus here. So always be careful. If you find a plus, then a difference of 2 squares is not possible. Okay? Practice this a bit. You will use this a few times, difference of 2 squares. There is in this chapter a way to kind of avoid using it in the future, but in 3rd grade and later on you will have to use it sometimes. So I would still suggest you still practice this, okay? I wish you all good luck.